Hello everyone and welcome to our Tech Tuesday tutorials number 101. Today we're reviewing COVID-19 updates and highlighting Google Meet recording. Man, I thought last week's jump was crazy. We went from about 700 to over 4,600. I rather bleakly estimated that we would be over 20,000 today. We projected last week that we would be at this number, and we are. And in 7 days, I expect that we're going to be at 20,000. I'll be making a Tech Tuesday update next week. I pray that I'm not right. I pray that I'm not correct, that we will have at 20,000 US cases by then. But the numbers are hard to fight. Well, we shot right past that number, and my estimates were way off. We're now over 40,000, and actually between the time I started putting this together and the time that I'm now recording, we're at 43,000. And New York alone has snagged that coveted 20,000 number by its lonesome. Guys, this is not a drill. This is not a joke. Look at this exponential curve. We are currently here, and we were here last week. And the week before, we were somehow over here. I know most of you take it seriously, but you may have people that do not. So please share this with them. So let's take a look really quick at our projection worksheet. The red is what we were estimating, and that was rather aggressive, I thought. And then something changed this week and everyone just started catching up. It's probably because it's 2 weeks ago is when everyone really got infected, and now they're just showing symptoms and we're finally testing. So I have a feeling that we're at a much sharper curve than we thought. Our base numbers here, our base rate, we were estimating roughly at about 30% infection that would then drop every day by 0.4%. The problem is our infection rate has just gone up and down and up and down. And again, it's not because that's how many people are getting affected. It's really about testing and reporting. The good thing is it's kind of going down in the last week from 37 to 21, but there was a huge spike just yesterday, which kind of makes everything a little bit suspect. The average growth rate during this entire time has been about 27% with a median at about 30. So I'm going to leave that base rate alone. The problem is right now that decline rate really is just not happening. So if I make that 0 and say there will be no declining of this, if we don't do something, hey, it's still less than what we've got. So we need to go up and probably increase the base rate to about 35%. And now we're starting to look like reality. So with a 35% infection rate with no slowing down, then in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, I hope and pray that next Tuesday we are not at 263,000, which is a healthy chunk of what is currently out there in the world at large, just for the United States. We got to flatten the curve, and we're not flattening it at all. This is not flattening. So if you have any of those folks who still think it's no big deal and they're still going out and they're still socializing and they're still doing stuff, especially if they live in certain areas, tell them to stop.
If I get corona, I get corona. At the end of the day, I'm not going to let it stop me from partying.
Like, it's really messing up with my spring break. What is there to do here other than go to the beach, and they're closing all of it? It's really messing up. I think they're blowing it way out of proportion. I think it's doing way too much.
We're going to enjoy ourselves. We having day parties all day. It's my birthday, St. Patrick's Day. Turn up.
We're just living for the moment. We're just going for.
It's time to stop.
When it happens.
It's time to stop, okay?
When it closes, but
no more. Who are your parents? It's time to stop.
Or as I tweeted earlier today, tell these younger kids who are kind of feeling invulnerable, they may be pretty safe, but their loved ones, their older loved ones, especially those with any kind of pre-existing conditions, are not. All right, so enough doom and gloom. Let's talk about something that's been keeping me hella busy. Last Friday, I decided to start offering online training sessions on topics that I thought area teachers needed in order to get started with remote learning, because that's where we're going to go. Do you see these numbers falling anytime soon? No. We will not be going back to school before summer. That's my prediction. That is not fact. But I do not believe we will be going back and opening schools before summer. In fact, I would probably bet my mortgage on it. I think there's a good chance, actually, that we'll be teaching remotely come fall. I hope I'm not right. I pray that I'm not right. But that hasn't had much of an effect on reality lately. So initially, I created 2 sessions per day because these are Hangout Meets and bandwidth can be a problem. I initially restricted it to 15 people apiece. Well, that filled up within about an hour. Then I upped the numbers to 20 and added some more sessions. Yeah, that filled up too. Then I recruited some more people. But we have to host the events on our domain because we can't guarantee the Meet settings for other systems and know whether or not they have even turned it on or whether they allow people outside the domain to join. We added a couple of afternoon sessions at 4 p.m. and even some night sessions at 9 p.m. and increased the numbers to 25 per session. So far, that's holding. Recently, I just upped my numbers to 30 per session. There's a bit of a concern here. I could say, oh, well, let's just do 150. That's how much we can do with Hangouts now. The big concern is quality and whether or not people are going to be able to ask questions. If you get so many people on there, it starts feeling like you're just watching a webinar, which if you really want that, there's tons of videos. And heck, I make those videos on Tech Tuesdays. There are tons of videos out there on YouTube on how to use Google Hangouts or how to use Google Classroom. What we're trying to meet the need for are people who are looking for, kind of a smaller setting where they can ask questions and they can get individual support. So anyways, right now we've got a few more slots left and I just added all these and upped these numbers, but you can see it's pretty good. But man, there is apparently a need. And that's a good thing. It feels good to be serving over 500 people this week, and that's with the help of some great volunteers. The whole endeavor has been a challenge in logistics. Now, I'm going to put a bit.ly in the description in case you guys want to look at this and sign up for any more that may be left if you want to pick through whatever the offerings are. We will be putting up more for next week and the next few days, depending on what we have here. I'll probably work on the weekend to get that up. Now, it may sound like I'm complaining, but I assure you, I'm just tired. It's been a long day, and I've still got a lot more work to do for editing this video. But I am filled with determination, and I'm grateful for this opportunity to help. I want to thank all of our area teachers and administrators for allowing RISA to serve you. We are literally here because of you and because you need us. So having said that, let's get on to the tech a little bit. One very nice feature that we've been using with Hangouts Meet is the recording feature. In fact, we're recording these videos here. We're streaming these sessions as we teach them. So if someone can't show up, then they can watch it. It's been working really well, and it's easier than you may think. Until July 1st, Google has upgraded all G Suite accounts to allow them to record their Hangout Meets. And they've also increased the participant numbers and even allow you to stream it. So to get started, you can do one of two things. You can either start a meet on the fly by going to meet.google.com and just join or start a meeting right here. You can also create a meeting in your calendar by creating an event in the calendar and then choosing to add conferencing to that. So if I went and created a new event, I could call it whatever I wanted to and go here to Rooms Location and just click Add Conferencing. And you've got yourself a meet. I'm going to cancel that though. I'm not going to commit to that. Whether you start it here and give it a nickname or you create it in the calendar and schedule it ahead of time, you will then be able to go into the meet and you'll open up this window and then you can then choose to join now. The good thing about the Hangout Meet versus the old school Hangouts is that it has a lot more features, such as the ability for people to dial in and also for you to call them and add them to the call that way. And you can add people directly either by their email address or by their phone number. But you don't have to have anyone in the meet. You could cancel that out and you can just have a meet by yourself, just you. Why would you want to do that? Well, because you can share your screen and record. So I could come up here and choose to present a presentation. I just have to click on the Present Now button and either present my entire screen or a window. I'm going to choose a window because I have a presentation open up in another window. I'll choose the presentation I want. And then my screen, instead of my video, you'll be able to see my screen. So there'll be another person in the call, which is really my screen. So it's just still me plus my screen. But people can click on that and watch the stream as I go through this. Neat thing about this is while I'm doing this, I can go up here to the three dots and until July 31st, we have these extra features without having to pay. Choose Record Meeting. It's about that easy. It's going to tell you to ask for consent of anyone who you're recording if they're in the call with you. In this case, I'm just in the call by myself, so I don't have to worry about that. I accept, and the recording will start soon. And after a while, you'll see, there we go. We're now recording. So it's recording this as I go, and then I can go ahead and just drive my presentation and teach like I normally would. So if you're going to do a recording, the big thing you need to make sure you do is to make sure that everyone else in the call is muted so that it's only picking up your voice and it's only using your presentation as the focus. Otherwise, it'll bebop back and forth. It doesn't tend to pick up all the extra stuff here. It just kind of focuses on that. If you want to see some examples of this, then just make sure you go to our registration thing and click on some of these so that you can watch them and kind of get a feel for what they look like when they're recorded. When you're done recording, you just simply have to hit the 3 dots and choose stop recording. The recording will be saved to your Google Drive. Specifically, your recordings will be located in a folder called Meet Recordings underneath My Drive. You can create subfolders for them if you'd like, and you can move things around after the recording has been done. In general, it's going to take some time to process your video before it can be seen online. If you were to try to open it, it may tell you that we're still processing this video. So wait until you're able to actually play it to then share it out. It will email you when the processing is done. Once it's in there though, it's a regular Google Drive file and you can share it like you would do anything else. In fact, we've done that and we've actually placed them as a link in our spreadsheet. That means you as a teacher can go in and record lectures, record meetings and stuff like that, record PLCs or any other kind of collaboration you guys may want to do. This is a feature that has to be turned on in the back end, so your IT folks have to go in there and do this, but it is trivial to turn on. It's a couple of switches. Okay, so I hope you all found this video useful, and I hope that it wasn't too heavy on the COVID-19 stuff. I think it is important to give an update, but I did want to focus on a bit of tech as well. Next week and for the foreseeable weeks, we will be doing short updates, but I will be trying to focus on one piece of tech that can help everybody every week, as well as a few updates as to what we're trying to do for the community. Please share this video with your friends and coworkers and so on. Respect the social distancing guidelines, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.